Emily, what do you do in the shadows? I am usually shoveling shredded cheese into my mouth straight from the
Mm.
bag.
See, I've recently changed in the last couple of years, where my midnight snack is not cheese. It's anything chocolate that I can find. So
Which is wild. You're not a chocolate guy.
I'm not. Well, I've been, um, I haven't been drinking for the last month or so. And the amount that my body craves more sugar now because I'm not getting that sugar is insane.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. I'm having a procedure coming up where I'm gonna be on like whatever meds you can't drink on, like pain meds, anti-inflammatories, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm like, oh my god, if I'm not gonna drink for 3 weeks, I'm gonna I'm gonna like lose so much weight and my body's gonna be like, what
Yeah.
is happening? Like she's finally taking care of herself. Like,
Yeah.
what the
Well,
fuck?
well,
Like, what the fuck is going on?
you're also gonna lose so much weight because you're gonna be on a liquid diet.
Yeah, which it always makes me think of this guidance counselor I had. Did we have the same guidance counselor? No, our last names are not close enough in the alphabet that we would have had the same guidance counselor in high school. But my guidance
I had the
counselor
young
was this.
one.
I had. He was the only man. I'm not going to say
Oh,
his
okay.
full name on our podcast, but
Yeah.
I had this like weird interaction with him once where he was like this like 65-year-old man with a ponytail, like the exact kind of guy you would picture to be a guidance counselor. And he was like, oh, he's like, it's somebody's like birthday. So there's like, he's like, advising me about like college applications or
Uh-huh.
some shit like that. And he's like, oh, it's somebody's birthday. There's cake in like the break room. Like, do you want some cake? And I was like, yeah, like I guess I'll take some cake. But like,
Sure.
I thought he was gonna go like get me a piece of cake. He just pulls out a second fork, and the two of us share the piece of cake that he was already eating.
That's wild.
But I bring him up because he really notoriously did liquid solid liquid diet or solid liquid solid. He did something where he alternated every other meal was a liquid or a solid. So he'd be like liquid breakfast, solid lunch, liquid dinner. And I was always like, what the fuck do you have for liquid dinner?
Was he
Like
skinty?
baby food?
Was he skinty?
He was
I don't
he was
remember.
skinty. He was like he like rode bikes. He did that thing where you like ride a bike for 100 miles. Like people who do that shit.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like the equivalent of marathoning for bikers, but it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
biking 26 miles isn't really that impressive, but like
No.
biking like 100 miles or something.
Yeah.
I don't whatever that's
Uh-huh.
called. He did that, but we shared a piece of chocolate cake, and it was way more intimate than I would have liked to have been with my guidance counselor.
How did this
at,
get
like,
from liquid? Oh, that's how. Yeah.
Anyways, if you're new here, sorry about that. This is our podcast. It's called The Swamp. It's an acronym.
Stands for some White House movie podcasting.
I realize that my introductions have always been quite lackluster, and hopefully we're getting new listeners all the time. We can only fucking hope. So if you're here for the first time ever, hey, welcome. This is our show. We pick a different movie every week and we just talk about it. It's not serious. It's not informative. It's not, you're not going to get facts here. You're not going to get really anything that you can't find if you're just listening to two annoying girls talk at a bar, basically.
Yeah.
But we do themes every month, and because it's October, we just took the easy route and did campy, ooky, spooky, kooky, Halloween-y type movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I had actually never seen this. I think it has been on in a room where I am present, but I have either been like very drunk or doing a different activity or like asleep. So
Yeah.
I definitely like I honestly could not discern between this and the TV show of like what has been put on like when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And I've like half paid attention. But yeah, I don't think I've ever sat down and like actually paid attention to it.
I've never seen it. I have watched the TV show. I haven't watched all of the TV show by any means. I've watched like a handful of episodes when someone else is watching it. And I do the dad thing where I come in and I stand up and watch it for a while and like...
With your hands on your hips.
Yeah, and eventually I'll sit down. And I think the TV show is phenomenal. I think the TV show is funny as hell. Think it's great. this did not do that for me. And I know that Taika Waititi has a lot of people really like this one, but this felt like a movie for boys for me. And maybe it's just because it's 2014 and comedy has evolved since then, but I just don't find it very funny. I don't think it holds up.
So that's, I think the reason I feel similarly to you, and I think the reason that I maybe wasn't really latching onto this as much is because I don't have any sort of like nostalgic connection. I think maybe if I had seen this, like when it came out, I would have thought that this was fucking brilliant. I would have thought that this is so funny. I love any sort of like mockumentary, sort of like kind of not edgy, but I guess I would say like irreverent more, like sort of like we're making fun of something, but also doing it pretty earnestly. Like I really like that. Like I know it's a very like specific, but like, you know, like Nathan Fielder, like Nathan For You. I know a lot of people like cannot handle that kind of mockumentary because it's almost like too earnest. Like he's being
I can't. I'm one of those people.
Like cringe, like you can't handle the fact that he is willing to commit so hard. I think that is almost like where the humor evolution for me has gone from, like, you know, you think The Office is funny, right? Because, oh, it's a mockumentary and it's so funny. But then it's like, I thought The Office was funny when I was in middle school, and now it's like, if it's on, I'll like exhale through my nose maybe once, you know, like a kind of laugh.
Yeah.
And I felt about this movie, I equated its humor like very similar, like not like joke structure or joke like tone at all, but just like the way it made me feel was very much like Cards Against Humanity. Like the first couple times you play Cards Against Humanity, you think that shit is a fucking riot. You're like, we need to do this at every function. This needs to happen all the time. And then you kind of go through the cards, and it's like saying Helen Keller shitting on Daniel Radcliffe's chest is like only funny like a couple of times until it's like, and then you gotta buy the expansion packs. And then suddenly, and even those cards are even wilder. But then it just gets to a point where it's like, we can play Cards Against Humanity, but it's like, you're not gonna genuinely like belly laugh the way you did the first time. Exactly. And that's kind of how I feel about this movie, even though I never had it in the past, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same way that playing Cards Against Humanity makes me feel presently, if that makes sense.
Well, I think there's like just a general rule of thumb when it comes to like pleasure like that, in like that way, because I've been reading this book on like orgasms, but like it's the same thing when like people will watch, they've done studies where they put like porn on for someone, and the first time, like, it's amazing, but obviously it's the same thing of, like, you watch the same porn, like, over and over. Like, you're not busting a nut that hard eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, stimulus responses.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing for, like, Cards Against Humanity, that sort of thing. I mean, probably this movie.
Yeah, using your vibrator. Like, it's just eventually, it's just, like, gonna get boring.
Yeah, eventually you gotta get the wand.
Eventually, and then you just gotta keep buying more and more expensive ones until you're suddenly like, who do I think I am? Who do I think I am?
Until your clit's gone because you sanded it down.
Oh my god, stop. I actually was reading online about, like, rather than, like, losing sensitivity down there due to, like, it being too powerful of a sensation, like, the most common sex toy injury is actually, like, really similar to construction workers who, like, use jackhammers. The vibration can cause, like, permanent nerve damage. So if you're using a crazy powerful sex toy and it's vibrating your hand and you're doing, I mean, I think you have to be doing it, like, a lot over a very long period of time, but it's, like, it can cause, like, permanent nerve damage in your hand because your body's not supposed to, like, you know, pilgrims were not touching things that vibrated. We aren't built for that. Like, we aren't built to be shaken up like that. But, you know, everyone, like, you know, the myth of, like, like, you'll buzz your clit off and you'll lose all sensitivity and you'll never come again. Like, that's not true, but you can get construction worker injuries.
That's why you buy the Rose toy. This podcast is
Emily and I have wanted to be sponsored. I think the only if a sex toy company, I've been like following them from our official. I want like a weird one. I want like
you put
those
me on
like
to Spectrum Boutique
because Thongria, who's their like CEO, is also like a really hilarious internet personality. I think we need like a smaller company with some spunk. Ideally, we're just gonna have to start our own. I think
probably.
but I want one like if
Unbound is good.
If you own a sex toy company that like lets people like lay eggs, because like people who are like into like something weirdly specific, but like there are people who want to like pretend to be a dragon and lay eggs and like that's their thing. I don't do it, but I respect people who want to, and I would run an ad for you for your egg laying device. Like we need something real specific, I think.
Well, what the okay, I'm not even gonna.
Let's not get into it. It's what's the opposite of a furry? A scaly? You want to be a dragon? Emily and I were at Comic-Con and we were like, this is fun to be here, but I want to be at a booth. But obviously neither of us are in TV or make art or do anything. So we're like, I like brainstorming, like what could we do where we could merit like having a booth? Because I want to like people watch, but I don't want to walk around.
Yeah.
And I was like, what could we do at our booth? And I'm like, the dragon dildos, right?
Yeah,
like
the fantasy that seems dildos.
Like the Comic-Con sort of crowd could really get behind. Except I think your brother is into 3D printing and you cannot 3D print sex toys because it needs to be like medical grade silicone.
Yeah, and
silicone. You could like 3D print the mold, but that just sounds like a lot of work and like I
don't know. Because usually people like, I don't know. It's like you have to design how you honestly probably 3D printing the mold would be easier.
But I would still be sketched about like the transference of microplastics. That's the type of shit of like people who sell sex toys on Etsy, and I'm like, you made this in your basement, and therefore it's not going inside my body.
Did you?
And okay, and
you don't want to.
And we're moving on.
Let's take a break.
Let's segue into the segment where my literal mother comes on and does her cute segment. Let's segue into that, why don't we? Right from the dragon egg laying dildo product that I want to sponsor us. Jesus Christ. Like, she should disown me. Honestly, I don't even know why she and
she's still your best friend.
Aw, Jen. But yeah, I think the humor of this movie did not hit me as hard as I wanted it to. I do generally find Taika Waititi stuff to be entertaining and funny, but I feel like there has been sort of like a recent change in public opinion about him. Have you been noticing this? That I feel like he was beloved. I feel like he was beloved and revered as like a really modern, like open-minded, cool director who was like moving film in a good direction, right? Mm-hmm. Like he directed like the only good Marvel movie to come out in like a fucking decade, like shit like that. And then I feel like in the past like a year or so, it's kind of shifted and people like think of him as like being kind of cringe. Like he's kind of been Lin-Manuel Miranda-ified, in my opinion, where people are like...
I think Rita Ora did it to him.
That's what I was gonna ask you, if you think it has anything to do with like his personal life or just because I don't think it changes my opinions about like I still like Jojo Rabbit. I still think Thor Ragnarok is probably like one of the better Marvel movies. I think
but it's a Marvel movie.
I think it's a Marvel movie. I liked that show he did about the gay pirates. Like I thought that was cute. But I was like looking into it because I was curious, and to me it felt very similar of like Lin-Manuel Miranda is a genius, but then inserted himself a little bit too much into his own genius, and people realize that he's like kind of cringe. Whereas I feel like that's similar to Taika Waititi. I mean, I guess he's always inserted himself. Like, he's literally in everything he's ever made.
It's tough because to a certain extent, I do understand and I do see, like, and this is very much in the Lin-Manuel Miranda vein of, like, oh, no one will cast me, so I have to write the parts for myself. I just think women tend to do it better. Like, a lot better. Like, Issa Rae doing, Insecure. She wrote that, right?
Yeah, or like directed it, produced it, some upper level.
Yeah. And then Michaela Cole.
She's in a couple episodes of Black Mirror, I think.
Is she? I don't watch Black Mirror like that.
I took a college level course I have loans. I have outstanding loans because I took a college level course about the TV show Black Mirror. I took college level courses about not one, but 2 TV shows. And I did not major in TV. I took a Mad Men class.
Oh, yeah.
And I
did.
took a Black Mirror class. Mm-hmm. Wild. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck did I have to pay so much money for that? I'm so stupid. I should have been taking, like, accounting or some shit. No, then I probably would have killed myself.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't be here hosting this podcast.
If I had a really good big girl job, if both of us were like worked in finance, no shot, because we'd be out like whining and dining like big business people.
We would be too coked up.
We'd be too busy networking.
Oh my god.
We need to get out there and network with some sex toy entrepreneurs who want to pay us money to.
Yeah, does anyone want to listen? We're on LinkedIn. So.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever. I think I made the swamp a LinkedIn and have not looked at it since. Like
I posted a handful of updates on there when we really first started going.
Wow, love that. Maybe I should I reboot the LinkedIn so that we can really just start getting our name out there. I think my stipulation for running ads would be that they have to let me write the script and say whatever I want, which I think is like the opposite of what people want. They're like, no, like you running an ad means you have to read this thing we wrote for you because like that's how ads work. I'm like, no. I want them to like send me the product and then I just say whatever I want about it.
I will say most of what you want, but I need some room to wiggle.
Do you want to hear about something wild that I just bought?
Yeah.
And the jury's still out. I don't know if it's going to be a really bad thing for me or if I'm going to be able to...
Is it a new sex toy?
No. Or this is going to be really bad for me. No. It's honestly, it's fairly similar. It's like an endoscopic Bluetooth earwax cleaner. So
shut up.
It's like a little like stick with a tiny camera on the end and it Bluetooths to my phone and I can see in my ear and then it has a little scoopy on the end and it's so you can
How much did you pay for that?
$20.
Amazon?
$20 on Amazon. It like the directions were like in broken English. Like it was definitely made by slave labor. Like it was probably not. You probably should get a good one from like a reputable source. But I was cleaning my ear with a Q-tip and I was like feeling anxiety about the fact that I was pushing earwax deeper.
This is bad for me.
So I Googled like correct way to clean your ear, which is like obviously to like get the solution stuff that like dissolves your earwax and that's like correct. But then it was like ad for Scoopy earwax cleaner. And I was like, yes, I want that. And I set it up and I tried it. But then I was like, I felt myself getting too carried away because like, I'm going to rupture my own eardrum. Like I do not trust myself because I'm a picker and a poker and a prodder. Like I own a full like scalpel set so that I can like medically extract my own zits because I'd rather have a gaping facial wound than like a tiny, tiny zit.
Of course.
But I think I'm gonna have to, like, you know how you can set on your phone, like, limits, like, only let me use Instagram for 10 minutes a day, like, set it on your phone.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do, like, a 5-minute limit for this?
Or, like, you know, like, once a week or something. Like, I'm just not gonna be allowed to use this all the time, because you're not supposed to have no earwax in your ears. You're supposed to have some.
Yeah, that, like, is, you should have a certain amount of earwax, because it's, like, the same thing of having, like, eyelashes. Like, it stops you from getting shit in your eyes.
Oh. But, like...
Did it work, though? Was it, like...
Oh, yeah. Really I mean, it didn't immediately just, like... I still had to work for it, and it was a little, like, jarring to, like, see it. It was, like, a little weird. And obviously, there's, like, hairs in there and stuff, so you gotta, like... It's not, like, a super crisp image. It's not in fucking IMAX.
Of course.
But, yeah, I bought it, and we'll see if this is, for my life, good or bad.
God. See, I saw a video the other day and I was horrified because it was disgusting, but also I was like, I want that done. But they like basically filter out like water in and out of your fucking ear and all your earwax comes out. Mm-hmm. I want that done so bad.
Yeah,
it would probably feel horrific.
I like cut myself off. I was like using this thing and then I cut myself off, but I like still didn't feel satiated. So I like went onto TikTok and I like looked up like satisfying ear cleaning videos and like watched that for like 20 extra minutes to like itch my brain. I definitely...
This is something...
I went through like a period in college where I was like really sad that I didn't have any friends. And I was like really thinking about myself and my actions really critically. And I was like, I do watch like dead toenail removal videos just fully on my phone in class, like before class starts. Like anyone sitting behind me would be like, why the fuck would I talk to that girl? She's watching dead toenail removal videos. Like I was like fully just like in public, you know, watching like satisfying, you know, blackhead removal or like cyst removal videos. I love all that like
Ew.
gross medical shit.
I
love
can't do
it.
that shit. That shit I can't do. I will on myself, on someone else, I can do it. But like seeing like someone online, like the most disgusting, foul, like pimple popping you've ever seen in your life. No, I can do the normal shit.
I love it. And that's why I was like, yeah, objectively, I don't blame these people for not wanting to hang out with me.
Yeah. A tool like that, like an earwax cleaner like that, is something that I think this movie could have, like, these vampires could have gone buck wild with.
I did like the concept that they were sort of behind the times and, like, the scene of, what was his name? Stu? Was his name Stu?
Yeah.
Stu,
Yeah.
like, showing them how to, like, set up FaceTime and stuff. I thought that was all very cheeky and very funny. And is that something that the TV show gets into a little bit more about, like, them being, like, medieval and old-timey and, like, doing modern things and it being, like...
I think a little bit. Like I said, I've seen a handful of episodes, so... I don't think it harps on it as much.
But I was reading on IMDb, I guess that character, the Stu character, is just one of Taika Waititi's, like, friends from growing up, like, from, like, literally elementary school, and he, like, called him up, he's like, hey, like, we're making this movie, do you want to come, like, be an extra? And he was like, sure. And then they, like, did that, like, that first scene was just, like, kind of improv, and then he didn't even realize that he was gonna be in the movie that much, because they just, like, the whole thing is basically just, like, sort of improv, so I guess they probably filmed, like, a fuck ton, you know, in every scene, and he was like, yeah, I didn't, like, afterwards, I didn't even realize that, like, I was gonna be an actual character, like, I thought that was just them kind of, like, fucking around, and he literally is, like, a data analyst for a global positioning system company, like, everything he said is just,
Amazing.
like, him, his name is Stu, his legal name is Stu. I thought that was so funny. I think more movies should just let a guy show up on set and just let him be in the movie. Like, that was really tickling me.
I think shows and movies that do that, because I can't think of any off the dome, but, like, I know a handful of shows will do that, and it's fucking hysterical.
Because that's when people are, like, their most, I don't know. I also like the sort of dynamic of, like, everyone around is, like, a professional improv comedian, and this guy is just kind of here, and, like, they're all just kind of playing off of him, and he's just, like, literally just some guy. I like how much they chose to include him. Because they obviously didn't need to, but it just ended up sort of, like, putting a nice little bow on things for, like, storytelling and continuity that I just think...
Yeah, well, it ended up being, like, basically part of the main storyline. And again, that feels, like, very much like the sort of thing, like, me saying this is a guy's movie. That's just what, like, a bunch of guys will do to, like, fuck with their friends. You know what I mean? They're like, look, you're, like, the star of this movie.
Yeah. And it, like, accidentally ends up being, like, really touching and wholesome. And they're like, fuck, guess we're gonna just go with it.
Exactly.
Let's go, girls. Let's do chocolate or vanilla. All my girls are here. It's me, Emily, and my lovely mother, Jen. She's here to host her interim podcast segment, Chocolate or Vanilla. She says 2 things. We all say which one we like better. Jen, is there a theme this week?
There is. It's, like, bad Halloween costumes, tropey Halloween costumes, just Halloween
Wonderful.
costumes.
Halloween costumes. Okay, love it. I forgot to ask you, how are you today?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
I had Taco Bell for dinner, so it means that I'm the worst I've ever been and the best I'll ever be.
The same time.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm very tired.
You look really tired.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
Emily,
don't
you
mean
look
that
like
in a
fucking
bad way.
shit.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. You just look kind of tired.
No,
I
it's just
feel
like...
tired too. I just hit the wall a little bit ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I was telling Dara this, but, like, you ever just have one of those days where you're just, like, it feels like you have, like, all of your period symptoms, but you just had your period, like, a week ago, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You look at your watch and it's like 11 in the morning. You're like, oh my god, I'm not gonna make it through this day.
Yeah, one of those.
A lot of times, ever since I was in middle school and I watched the TV show Skins, I don't know if you know Skins, there's a character in Skins who's a high school girl who goes through menopause, and that taught me that menopause is a thing that it can happen to anyone at any time. It just does commonly happen to, like, you know, women in their, you know, 50s or whatever. But you can go through, like, premature menopause. And so this Skins character goes through menopause at age 16. And all the time, when I get what you're talking about, I'm like, this is it. It's happening to me. I'm having a hot flash. It's like literally just because I'm like a little bit stressed out and uncomfortable. Yeah. And I'm like literally just take my uterus. Like, I don't know. I
don't want it anyways.
It's like not like me being so overdramatic from this stupid British teen show I watched when I was 13, but it really stuck with me. Now every time I get a little too hot, I'm just like Katie. Premature menopause.
Oh my god. All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Yeah, before the menopause sets in. Vanilla.
Chocolate. Hippie or 80s girl?
I feel like 80s girl has more opportunity to be fun and recognizable, whereas hippie could potentially border on you doing something maybe offensive or could be mistaken for something else. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you're just indisputably like an 80s girl, you do the big hair, the colorful makeup, the like really, especially also now if you do something 80s and somebody's like, are you from Stranger Things? You can just say yes. Or if they just ask you if you're like from some 80s piece of media, you can just say yes. Whereas I think like hippie could potentially connotate onto some like cultural appropriation grounds.
I just think 80s girl is more fun. And there's more like actual fashion from the 80s that you can still use floating around today. I feel like hippie you have to like buy the shitty ass costume for.
Yeah, you could potentially buy 80s girl stuff that you could wear again.
Yeah.
In your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
I think you should just dress like you're from the 80s every day, actually.
Yeah.
I will definitely say 80s girl because I was an 80s girl.
Hell yeah.
Wait, Jen, tell them about your tri-colored eyeshadow.
Oh, yeah. You would do like pink and yellow and blue, like on one eyelid.
Brilliant.
Like a gradient, like yellow on the inside, pink in the middle, blue on the wing.
Love that.
Love it.
Next one, perfect segue. Anyone from Stranger Things or anyone from Harry Potter?
Oh, well, as far as we know, the Duffer Brothers don't hate trans people. So I think you can also be someone from Stranger Things by going to a thrift store and buying stuff and then maybe like doctoring it up. Like, also if you have a shaved head, you can just be Elle. Like, I know we had a friend in high school who had a shaved head and she just like it's like very timely for her to just be Elle from Stranger Things because like, yeah, she was bald. But I feel like Stranger Things, yeah, you could definitely like repurpose or like buy cute stuff you could wear again to like have a fucking Hogwarts robe. Do you know how expensive those are if you go to like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter or whatever, and you go and you want to get like a legit like a robe? They're like $300. It's fucking stupid. I mean, I'm sure you can get like cheapo ones, but that's so overdone, that's so played out. Even though Stranger Things is kind of lame, I still think you could be a Demogorgon, be Papa, be like a weird side character, what's the name of like
What's the name of the guy who the guy from The Hobbit who gets eaten? Bob?
Oh, yeah, Bob Newby, superhero. Yeah, Samwise Gamgee. Yeah, just be him. Just wear like a puffer vest and just say the name. Like, be like, yeah, I'm John Smith from Stranger Things. Haven't you seen the show? And everyone will just be like, oh, yeah. Be a character that doesn't exist.
I'm actually gonna pick Harry Potter for this one because I think it's funny enough that it's far removed from when Harry Potter was relevant. And also, my sister is being, Fred and George with one of her friends, so.
Oh, that's not with you? She's literally a twin.
I know. But she got the wig and everything, and it's fucking hysterical.
I will do Stranger Things. Next one, Batman or Joker?
I mean, I just think, even though the Joker is a more compelling character, and like, provides more intrigue, mystery, drama cum flama, campery. I do think that the Joaquin Phoenixification of the Joker in recent years, and also like the adoption of like the Joker by like alt-right-wing incel guys of being like, I am also misunderstood and want to abuse people, is like not chill. So I guess I'll pick Batman for that reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Batman because Robert Pattinson.
Ooh, that's most recent Batman. That's a good costume. I'll go Batman too for the sweep. Next one, a witch or a mime?
I think you should be a mime because I think that you can do a lot of funny bits with being a mime throughout your night of partying, trick-or-treating, whatever your Halloween plans are. If you're dressed as a mime, you get to act like a mime.
Yeah.
And committing to the bit is the best costume for being a mime is just committing to the bit.
Yeah. You don't say a fucking word. I think being a mime is funnier, so I'm also gonna go for mime.
Yeah, I will say same. And that's another one nice and cheap. Easy costume. Probably have the stuff right in your house.
Yeah, black and white, do a little face paint. Because the costume doesn't need to sell it. Your attitude needs to sell it.
Next one, angel or devil?
I mean, both are like a little played out, but I feel like I think you should be a biblically accurate angel. That should be your Halloween costume. Is you should get like a bunch of eyeballs and like weird like wings and be like scary. I think you should go for that. So I'll say angel.
I'm gonna say devil because I don't like the pious little like, oh, good girl angel thing. I think it's fucking weird. I think it's fucking creepy. I think it's that like virginification sort of vibe. I don't like it. Be a slut.
And guess what? Guess what, Elizabeth? Your Catholic mom would be upset with the way you're dressing at this bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think be a slut, be a devil. I think you can have a lot more fun with it, and I think it's cooler if you have red thigh highs than strappy little white heels.
Yeah, be honest.
Yeah. And you
Because I know if you're being either of these things, you're being a fucking whore. So just be honest.
Yeah. You could have a little like arrow in your tail kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
So actually, segue to next one: slutty nurse, slutty pirate, or flapper.
I think I want to see a slutty pirate every day. I wake up every day and I hope I encounter a slutty pirate out in the wild. That's just what I want to see. 365 days of the year I want to see a slutty pirate. I want to see a person in a billowy white shirt who just is really pulling it off. So for that reason, I will say the slutty pirate, because I think you can just be a pirate, and being a pirate is inherently kind of slutty. You don't even need the prefix. All pirates are slutty pirates.
I think I'm actually gonna go flapper on this one. I think it's a lot more creative than the other two. I think if you can find a really good flapper dress,
with the
like
tassels,
that's hot.
Yeah. And then you could own it too, like you just do the shimmy where your
exactly
tassels go, yeah.
And you could be like, prohibition. That's why I'm drinking tonight.
Yeah, exactly. You can really get into character for that.
Do the voice.
Yeah.
Be like,
the long
come around here often, you see? Yeah.
Did you watch Broad City?
A cigarette holder?
Did you watch
Bangs?
Yes.
Yeah, you can be you can do Val, basically.
Val. Oh, so true.
Yeah, I'm gonna go flapper also. Next one, Diana Ross or Whitney Houston?
Princess Diana Ross. You be both Princess Di and Diana Ross at the same time. And that's how you can be Diana Ross as a white person. What was my other option? No, I'm sorry. Diana Ross or
Whitney
Houston. I think if you're white, you shouldn't be either of these. I'm sorry. I don't think you should even try.
I agree.
But I think if you're white, you can be Princess Diana Ross, which would be really funny. Just do a Princess Di sweater and like big hair. Mm-hmm. That would actually be pretty funny. But I would say if it is appropriate for you to be either of these people, I do think a Diana Ross costume would be a little more recognizable than a Whitney Houston. Like Diana Ross had more of a look.
Yeah.
I don't know, to me.
I just gotta say Whitney because I fuck with her more.
I'll go Diana. Next one, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or any other Disney princess.
What? You're pitching a legion of costumes against the lamest princess to be? Who the fuck wants to be Snow White?
You get to do it with like 7 of your friends and they all dress up as dwarfs.
If you have 7 male friends who you can convince to be your accessories for the night, then that is, you're a powerful woman.
Yeah.
And like, I guess they just wear shirts. I guess if you have 7 really lazy male friends and you just get them t-shirts that say like grumpy, dopey, whatever, that could work for you. And then you could have 7 men in tow as your accessories. So if you're like a planning kind of girl.
Also a good way
like,
to stay safe on Halloween.
Yeah, keep your bodyguards around you, right? Yeah, I'm the type of girly that I have to make my costume and his costume. I don't trust him to do it, and I want to plan it. It's not because he's lazy, it's because I demand that I do it, kind of thing. I'm like, I don't trust you, like, kind of, like, this is on my plate. So if you're one of those, I think you could pull it off, but I think out of all the Disney princesses, I just think that you're pitching, it's like, it's like, eat cheddar for the rest of your life or every other kind of cheese.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna pick the majority, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for
I'm trying to think about what Disney princess would be like the best one to dress up as.
At this moment, I'm feeling a Belle with the yellow dress and the fun hair and like, yeah.
I guess it also matters like what you're working with as an individual. Like you don't have to wear a wig. That's great.
Yeah.
If you can pull off Jasmine, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say any other princess.
Same. And you too, Darren? Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Next one, Flo from Progressive Insurance or Elvis?
I think, Flo from Progressive Insurance is pretty funny. I think if you could get a group of your friends to all be like the insurance talk spokespeople, that would be pretty funny. Get somebody to be like Mayhem, get somebody to be the Geico Gecko. That would be pretty funny. Actually, I used to...
Limu the Emu, yeah.
For those who do not know, I have my master's degree in advertising. It has not served me well. I do not work in the field. I regret going. It cost me a lot of money. But now that I think about it, my grad school friends and I should have all been like the ad spokespeople for Halloween that year. That would have been really funny.
That would have been a serve.
Like if we all were like the commercial people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about who I would want to be. I think I would want to be Mayhem. Like the guy who like has all the scratches on his face, and he's always like, "I'm Mayhem. Your daughter got in a car accident, but thank God you have insurance."
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll say Flo. That's more original. That's could be kind of.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna have to go with Flo.
Yeah, I'll go with Flo too. Darren, speaking of like advertisements, I always think it's funny when you call Ben Affleck Ben Affleck, because I feel like you're making fun of him.
I am. I don't respect him enough to say his name right, so I'm gonna say it like the stupid duck commercial. Ben Affleck. That's who he is to me. So Emily's computer just died, so I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Jen, for being on. As always, we'll see you next week. We love you, and thank you, as always.
Love you. Love Em. Have a good night.
Bye. There were a few comedic bits in this, though, that I did really get a kick out of. The visual gag of the score is playing, and then it cuts to, like, people playing instruments of the score. That always cracks my shit up. Like, I love that. It's, like, a despondent kind of, like, bad on purpose sounding, like, score, and then it cuts to them, like, all, like, poorly playing instruments in their fucking living room. That cracked my shit up. I love just all of the montages of, like, the silly medieval art where they, like, didn't know how to get animals' proportions correctly or whatever. Yeah. Or every time they said the beast, they showed a drawing of, like, some guy who just, like, has a penis on the middle of his chest, like, for some reason. Like, medieval art, like, medieval, like sketch drawings and, like, books and stuff are so, like, I think I follow an Instagram account that's all, like, medieval snails. It's all just,
that's brilliant.
Different, like, drawings of snails, and they all look like, they all, like, have human faces for some reason. But the cut, I think the part of this movie that truly made me laugh the most was they talk about how Jermaine Clement's character, he's, like, the horny vampire or whatever. He's, like, the older one. I don't know. I forget his name. Was his name fucking Vladiev or whatever. That's definitely not right. But he can transform into animals, but he, like, always kind of fucks the face up because he's from medieval times, and it just cuts to, like, a really poorly CGI'd his human face onto a cat. That cracked my shit up, especially after the montage of, like, the bad drawings. Because, like, you think about it, and you're like, yeah, that literally is what that looks like.
Yeah. They were like, oh, he used to be, like, the most powerful vampire, but now, like, he just can't seem to get things right. This is his face like that. Yeah, the thing that cracked me up was, and it's so fucking stupid, they end up turning this vampire, this guy, he was gonna be a meal, and he ended up turning into a vampire, and being kind of part of their clan. I forget his name.
Probably like John. I should have the IMDb open, honestly.
I know.
Nick, his name is Nick.
Yeah, where Nick is going and he's like upset and like trying to deal with like being a vampire or whatever, and they just show him like eating one fry and then just projectile blood for like 3 minutes straight. And it's so stupid and it's not even that funny.
I think that's the sort of boy humor that you're like, this is like for the boys, as you're saying, which I don't know if I entirely agree with you, but like the sort of like 14-year-old boy humor that will fucking get me. Like somebody projectile vomiting in Pitch Perfect. I cannot. If somebody throws up next to me in real life, I will myself throw up. Like, I cannot handle that. Why do I think that shit is so funny in movies? Like,
oh, of course.
Like, them all just projectile vomiting at the same time. Like, why is it different when it's on my TV screen? I don't know.
And it being blood, too. Like, it was so violent.
But also, I feel like this movie did have, like, a couple $1 million budget. I think mostly because I think that some of the people in it were, like, quasi-famous. Like, I don't think they were all entirely, like, unknown for what I understand. I think this was, like, the big sort of, like, jumping-off career point for Taika Waititi and a lot of these guys. Like, you know, household name sort of effect. But I think, you know, a lot of them were, like, in other stuff and, like, doing other stuff. But I think this movie is a good proof that you can make something, like, really funny and good with literally do a bad effect of somebody projectile vomiting fake blood that looks fake and bad on purpose, and that's still so funny if you do like the build up correctly, right? Like I almost feel like I prefer stuff like this now because everything is so like looks so like quote unquote polished now that I yearn for things that look crunchy and bad. Like I don't know, when we watch Spy Kids 3D Game Over, like that bad CG just like gives me new life in a way that I just don't get from movies anymore. Yeah.
No, I totally know what you mean.
Speaking of giving me life, though, I just saw the new Martin Scorsese movie. I saw Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, what did you think? I saw it the same day as you, I think.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm glad that you saw it too. Wow, let's just change movies. Let's just talk about that one. No, I really liked it. I think that we should... I hate to be one of those people who complains about length. Because I thought it was well-paced. I don't think I would have really cut too much out of it. I really enjoyed it. I just want there to be an intermission. Anything over 2:45...
3.5 hours was long.
Anything over 2:45, or especially 3, anything over 3 hours, please, I want to pitch this to the theaters, to the movie theaters, because I would have paid more money to buy more snacks. Like, they're going to make more money if they and I understand that you're then making a 3.5-hour movie, more like a 4-hour movie, because you're taking a big 15-minute chunk in the middle to let everyone pee. You know, how much time does it take for everyone to get out of the theater, wait in line, go to the bathroom, buy snacks, come back? Like, that's a commitment. But I just feel like I remember watching Sound of Music with you, and even, like, the DVD, or, like, the, you know, the digital version, like, had a built-in intermission. And I'm like, can we please just bring this back? That's all I ask, because I love a long movie. I like it, but like when I watch Lord of the Rings at my house, I need to pause to go to the bathroom and make myself another pot of soup. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I almost missed jump scare Brendan Fraser.
Oh my god, love.
Because I had to go, I had to get up and pee. I refilled my slushie. You know how long a movie has to be for me to go and refill my slushie? I had a water and a slushie. And I got a second slushie.
But you didn't pay for it. You just refilled to your cup.
No, of course not.
Yeah, you didn't pay another $12 for a slushie.
No.
But, and I think that there's...
We had to pace ourselves with this movie, because we went in and we were like, we didn't even buy popcorn at the beginning of the movie. We waited an hour into the movie to go and buy popcorn.
But the thing about me is I staunchly will not leave the theater. I will piss my pants in my seat. Crazy. I won't leave, because what if I miss something important? What if all the Twitter discourse is about the part I missed? What if I missed the Brendan Fraser jump scare, you know?
Yeah, I did miss a bit of a part that I would have liked to see.
Right, then what was it all for, you know? And I really like seeing movies in the theater. I especially like movies like this and like Oppenheimer and stuff like that. That's sort of like
I couldn't watch it.
Made to be on the big screen. Oh, you watch it. Oh wait,
no, I wouldn't be able to watch it if it wasn't in a theater.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have been looking at my
fucking
phone.
My brain would want me playing 2048 on my phone.
But I like being in the theater. I just wish they gave me an opportunity to fucking take a breath and piss. But
I think you should pitch this to Martin Scorsese
himself. He needs to be the one to say it. It can't be coming from me.
I loved the way this movie ended.
Oh,
he came on and he did like a fucking what was it? Who was the Marvel guy?
Stan Lee. He did a Stan Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, he did like a Stan Lee kind of cameo.
Yeah, which was honestly, I loved it. It was the same to me, like, you know, in Oppenheimer when they're like a little senator from Massachusetts named John F. Kennedy. Ever heard of him? That was the same to me as then when Martin Scorsese stepped in onto that little microphone and did his little bit. I thought it was so iconic.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. I thought it was fabulous.
I loved the whole movie. Oh my god, we're so like off track right now. I'm so sorry to all of you What We Do in the Shadows heads. We're really just botching this episode, but there's a lot of discussion about if these two movies are going to be most likely both nominated for Best Picture, right? Obviously. If we have Best Actor between Leo and Cillian Murphy, I think absolutely no fucking shot do you give it to Leo. Cillian 100 out of 100 times. I think 100. Leo was fine. I think he got outacted by everyone in every scene he was in.
Leo just had his chin out the whole movie.
And he was overacting and he was doing a little too much for me.
Yeah, well, have you seen, there was a fucking, what was it? I saw it on Twitter somewhere.
The interview where, like, they were like, he's just doing...
like, he's doing too much. Yeah, stop improv. They literally were like, stop improving, yeah.
Like, the movie's already 4 hours long. You can't be adding more dialogue, Leo.
Yeah, Leo did not do it for me. Leo's creepy teeth, that's the thing that, like, really sold his performance for me.
But... director. So Scorsese has won Best Director before, but Christopher Nolan never has. Not to say that we need to be honoring people who've, like, I don't think you should give an Oscar to someone just because they've never won an Oscar, because they seem to be doing that nowadays, and it's always, like, not really deserving. Like, to be, like a legacy Oscar, basically, they're like, Jamie Lee Curtis, here's your Oscar, even though you were in this movie for all of 5 minutes of screen time, and you weren't even the best supporting nominated character, you know what I mean? And, like, just to honor her for, like, her body of work or whatever, like, that's stupid because she wasn't actually the best supporting actress, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think we should just give Christopher Nolan an Oscar because we think he deserves it for his lifetime of work. I don't know who I would pick between the two of them. I mean, they're obviously different movies and different directing styles. Oh, but like I almost want to say you have to give it to Scorsese though. Like I lean towards that way. And this is not biased, I don't like Scorsese movies. The vast majority of his movies that I've seen, I actively dislike. I fucking hate The Departed. I don't want to say I don't like movies about Italian people, because that makes me sound like, not racist, because you can't be racist towards white people, but I usually just don't like what, Goodfellas, The Irishman. No, I can't fucking do all that. I can't be doing all that. But I thought this movie was brilliant, and I loved it.
I liked this movie. I think that the tension that Oppenheimer had did it for me more, and I think that's why I would personally say Christopher Nolan. But yeah. But that's just me. This movie was great. I thought, oh god, Lily
Gladstone?
Yeah, I thought Lily Gladstone was fucking phenomenal.
I mean, no doubt is she gonna get nominated, but if she does not get nominated, I'm gonna storm something. Like, that was probably the best performance I've seen this year, let alone.
Oh, she was brilliant.
Yeah.
I want her to rock me to sleep. She has the most soothing voice. I want her just to wrap me up, read me a book, give me a kiss on the forehead, put me to bed.
And see, I want to get drunk with her sister. I want to get...
Oh my god, I want to shoot guns.
Pull a little gun out of my little 1920s flapper purse and just fucking... I hope she gets some sort of recognition for this too, because I also thought she was such a scene stealer.
I thought so too, but I don't think she has enough screen time to pull like a supporting actress or anything.
No, me either. But weirdly, to circle it back to Taika Waititi, I saw a tweet that somebody was like, oh, if, like, I wish an indigenous, like, this is clearly someone who didn't actually have any knowledge about, like, how much indigenous people did have a say in how this movie was made. Like there was a lot of, like, advising and influence from, like, all of the actual native people that they got to be in the movie and, like, behind the scenes. Yeah, like, a lot of, like, behind the scenes stuff, and, like, they got actual native people to play the characters, which is, like, almost unheard of. And it's crazy that that's, like, a standard we have to set in 2023, but, like,
yeah,
it's like, I'm not gonna pat him on the back for doing it, but it's almost like, yeah, like, thank God you didn't get white. Like, it's funny to me because Martin Scorsese, like, makes Italian movies, and I feel like Italian people are always, like, playing Native Americans in movies and stuff. Do you know what I mean? They just get someone Italian, like, who has darker skin and is Italian.
Oh, you're tan.
Right? And I'm just like, that's just, like, not a Native American person. That person is just Italian, and they put them in, like, an offensive outfit, you know? Like, throughout all of history up until, like, literally yesterday. But somebody, like, made a tweet that was like, I wish an indigenous director like Taika Waititi had been on set to maybe sort of guide some of like the, you know, giving more voice to the native people. And I'm like, first of all, Taika Waititi is native, like, New Zealand, not Native Americans. That's just, like, you're just naming the one native director you can think of, like, like, period. Like, first of all, that's not correct. But also then everyone responding being like, you want fucking cringe-ass Taika Waititi to step to Martin Scorsese and tell him how to make his movie? Like, you fucking joke.
Shut the fuck up.
This whole Twitter discourse about it that I was looking into. Because I was trying to, I know I brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to, like, educate myself a little bit more about the sort of, like, questionable transphobia stuff that's been happening. So this is as much as I can get. I guess when you Google, like, Taika Waititi transphobia, I guess there are also some, like, old tweets that I didn't look into that as much because that didn't really seem like relevant to me. And I don't like to, like, jump onto cancel culture and be like, they're canceled, so I believe it. But I'm like, when people say that a rich and famous person is a bad person, I just am incentivized to believe them. Because I think anyone who has that level of, like, fame and power is probably, like, not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you, like, love attention that much and you have $1 billion, like, yeah, you probably are kind of shitty to the people around you. That just, like, kind of comes with the territory, I guess. So when people are saying, like, Taika Waititi's a piece of shit, I'm like, yeah, I guess that doesn't really shock me. But I was looking into it. His upcoming movie is called Next Goal Wins, and it's about, like, a soccer team. It's like it's like a Dutch soccer coach, like, goes to some other country and, like, coaches their soccer team, and they're, like, notoriously bad, but then maybe they win.
I think it is, like, a New Zealand country kind of thing.
I would imagine that he has some sort of connection to it. I don't really... Oh, American Samoa. That's what it is.
Yeah. And
from what I can... Surface level, from what I can understand, I think it's based on a true story. And they got... So one of the soccer players is a non-binary trans person. And they are, like, of the native Polynesian, like... not religion, but, like, culture, you know what I mean? They have, like, a third gender sort of thing. Like, a lot of native cultures have, like, you know, a way of being non-binary. It's just, like, in their culture, it's, like, more common than I guess it is in, like, ours, than to have, like, a third gender that people can identify as. So this Polynesian person identifies as this, like, native third gender. And I guess the way that they handle that in that movie is, like, not super chill. Or, like, the discussion they have around it isn't, like, framed in a way that's really productive or, like, informative of the fact that, like, this sort of non-binary transness is a thing that's, like, existing in sports. And I think trans people in sports is already, like, a touchy subject. So I'm sure that's why they didn't do it in a way that, like, served it any justice. But I guess they, like, dead name this person and they have a whole discussion about, like, what are your genitals like? Which is just, like, maybe not how you should address a trans character, or if the actor is non-binary. So that was the whole situation that, from what I could, like, the one article I read about it. So I guess people are actively... I mean, it has, like, a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think I was going to see it anyways.
Not shocked,
But that was I know I had made a comment about it without actually knowing anything. I still don't really know too much, but that's for all you folks at home.
Yeah, that just sounds very much like the thing that, like, it's just giving, like, man doesn't do research, but man has big budget, so...
Or it's, like, trying to fulfill, like, a woke, like, category, like, a woke, like, diversity thing. Yeah. Like, our movie has a non-binary person in it. That's so woke, but, like, the way they're actually integrated into your film isn't very cool, or, like, or productive, or informative, or like, well-written, well-informed, things like that. It's, like, I don't know. I feel like that happens a lot of the time, where we have a trans character. It's not really cool, but then it ends up being, like, actually kind of harmful because of the way that character is, like, portrayed or treated.
Yep.
So yeah, this is just, like, sort of contributing to that, I guess. I bet there will be more about it when the movie comes out, or there will be less about it because the movie will just be bad and people won't be talking about it.
It's just gonna fall off. Do we want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
For this movie we didn't even talk about this week? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't.
For everyone that really loves what we do in the shadows,
tell me.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Look at me.
Like, tell me why.
Listen to me in your ear holes and listen back, because you like this because you like the TV show. I promise you. If you love this movie, I bet you also like the TV show, and you're willing to admit that the TV show is better. And so maybe I should just go watch the TV show. But
I think probably.
Don't be mad at me for the fact that we talked about dragon egg sex toys and Martin Scorsese. I'm sorry. I get sidetracked.
Sorry. I had 8 bullet points for this movie, so...
But one of my bullet points is that we're just going to play Fuck, Marry, Kill with the main 3 vampires. And their names are Vladisiev. That's Jermaine Clement. He's the old one, the horny one. There's Viago. That's Taika Waititi. And then there's Deacon. And he's, like, the younger one, but he's the one who has, like, more of the plotline with the Nick vampire. Or whatever. Do we want to add Nick and have it before and have one of them be fight?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna marry Vladisiev, because I want him to turn into that cat with the human face just all the time.
You're just gonna giggle your ass off.
Be like my cat husband. Also, like, I could fix him, I think. I could fix him. Like, out of the 3 of them, he's the most fixable. Taika Waititi's character, Viago, he's, like, a little too soft for me, I think. He was, like, a little too nice. But I'm gonna fight him because I think I would win. I'll fuck Nick and I'll kill Deacon.
I'm also gonna kill Deacon. I did not like that character.
Me either. He was not funny. He was only annoying.
No. Yes.
Which I think was the point. Like, he was supposed to be, like, he was, like, the butt of a lot of the jokes, but he just wasn't making them. But
yeah. I'm gonna also kill Deacon. I might totally agree with you.
A safer choice would be to marry Taika Waititi, because I know, like, he's gonna treat his elderly wife really great. He has a lot of love to give, I think.
That's true.
And I want to share, like, a blouse collection. Him and I, like, that could be nice.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'll marry Viago. I'll fight Vladislav. Because that'll be a crazy fight. And then...
Wait, you know who I kind of want to fuck? I want to fuck Peter, the really fucking Nosferatu. With those teeth.
I wanted to fight Nick. For some reason, something about him kind of did it for me. Peter scared the shit out of me. The teeth like that bother me.
Wait, you know who I want to marry? I want to marry Jackie, the human woman who's just trying her best.
She just wants to be a vampire so bad.
But I love the plot twist that she, like, has a husband and kids at home, and she's fully like, bite me today. Like, I'm willing to commit. I'll go first because my answers are so bad for what you eat and drink. I said that you should literally, just because there's the one scene where he eats the one French fry and then pukes everywhere. I thought that was really funny. That I just think you should make poutine. No reason other than just that there's one French fry in one scene. And then people from New Zealand are called Kiwis because that's, like, their bird, I think. But also, is the fruit native to there, maybe, as well? I think it has more to do with the bird than the fruit. But I don't actually really, like, love kiwi flavor. I find it more to be something that you add to a greater scheme of tropical fruits. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't want something that's just kiwi flavored. I want something that's like kiwi, passion fruit, mango, you know? So I think you get kiwi, but you also incorporate some of your other preferred tropical fruits, maybe a little pineapple, whatever, and you make a simple syrup. This is always my cop-out answer. You make a fruit-based simple syrup, and now you have like kiwi, maybe like be a little heavy on the kiwi, but you have like a kiwi syrup. And then I think that you just make like a gin fizz with kiwi syrup. Maybe garnish.
That sounds really good, though.
All of the recipes, I googled like kiwi cocktail. All of the recipes were just saying to muddle it. And I don't want like the seeds, like the black seeds. No. I don't want that like in my drink and sucking up my straw and clogging up my straw. So that's why I think you don't just muddle the fruit. You make your simple syrup and you strain it and you like be a fucking professional about it. Okay?
Yeah, agreed. I wanted to go something that feels old-fashioned, and old from when these vampires were around, or from when some of them were around, and I wanted to go something modern, and I wanted to really blend everything. This drink is gonna suck. If you make this drink...
Wait, let me guess. It's an old-fashioned, but you drink it out of a taki.
No.
Use a taki as,
kind of close.
As the
You're
straw.
Close with the taki. You're
Hot Cheeto?
Close to...
Hot Cheeto?
It's okay.
Tell me.
I think you make, and this drink was invented by fucking Hemingway, I think. A Death in the Afternoon, which is, because I wanted to incorporate absinthe, because that feels very vampire-y, kind of like old-timey and all that shit. But A Death in the Afternoon is just absinthe and champagne. So it's fucking strong. It's gonna taste bad, but you're gonna get hammered. And then...
But then if you think about, like, a French 75 is just gin and champagne and, like, lemon juice, and that's good. So maybe it could be good.
Yeah, maybe add some lemon juice. But to pair with that, I think that one of the worst things that society has done so far, food-wise, or at least within the last... I'm going to say 5 years. It's probably not been that long. But we've created hot Cheeto mac and cheese.
That's true. It's not good. Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's hot.
Like, undesirably so.
Like, hotter than a hot Cheeto. And so I think you eat that with your Death in the Afternoon. You're probably gonna feel like shit. You're definitely gonna feel like shit.
I stand by my answer that you should drink an old-fashioned out of a taki. I love a food chaser. I love to drink a shot of something really strong and then, like, eat a hot chip. That's my preferred, like, way to consume. Mm-hmm. Like, if I have to take a shot, I need a handful of, like, crushed up purple Doritos to guzzle down after.
Yeah, I think you could do really great with, like, food pairings and chip pairings or drink chip and you've food like chaser. Had that idea.
Yeah, I tried to like start a TikTok about it, but I just don't like making content that involves my own face, which is why we do podcasting.
Yeah.
Except for all you lovely Patreon subscribers who have the option to see us. Which, speaking of, wow, what a beautiful and lovely segue. For the low price of $2.89 a month, you can see our faces. We both look really hot right now.
With my fuck-ass lighting.
And my whale watch sweatshirt that I have on. And, like, gaming headset. But if you want to see us, we put out like one bonus episode a month. If you want to see, we covered Elvira, Mistress of the Dark for this month. If you want to listen to that, it's only $2. Also, holiday season is coming up. Do you have a bestie who loves the swamp? That's crazy. That's actually wild that you listen to this podcast and you have a friend who listens to it. That's actually kind of amazing. And you should spend the low cost of what's $286 times 12, like less than $30. For less than $30, you can give them a year subscription to our Patreon, and that would be kind of a lame gift, I guess, actually. But you can also get them something from our shop. We have merch. Buy all of your family and friends, whether they listen to this podcast or not, buy them swamp merch. Be like, get with it. Be like, sorry, this is the sweatshirt you get for Christmas. It's your job to, convert them. make them a fan. That's also a really horrible idea. But
that's what I'm gonna do.
But you can. That's what I do every year. And like my grandma's always like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to explain to you what a podcast is. I host a talkie. I host a radio show with my good friend. But this sweatshirt does have the word ass on it, so don't wear it out in public." That is something I've run into. I've been like buying gifts for my family members. I'm like, "Oh, this does like say ass on it." I don't know how people feel about that. People who aren't 20. But yeah, we have merch. We have a Patreon. But if you don't want to spend money, that's actually really fair. I don't want to spend money either. But you know what you can do that would actually maybe even make me happier is you can give us a star rating. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, there's a little button where you can just press 5 stars and you can write something nice and that would fucking make my day. Or you can not write anything and you can just press the stars and that will still make me really happy. So please do that. I think we have there was a number I wanted to get to. Let me pull up on I think it's we have 220 and I would like it to be 300 or something. Let me look. Yeah, we have 222 reviews on Spotify. We're at a 4.8 average. I would like to get the average up. Obviously, if you're going to leave us a review, please make it good. Not that I'm telling you what to do, but if we can get to, 222, this is really ambitious. If we can get to 300 reviews by the end of the year, I'll post whole on the Patreon. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe we'll post the Ruby Sparks.
No one wants to see that. And I would actually have to edit it to make it funny. It's unbearable, Emily. I've really tried. We did an episode.
I haven't even.
Emily and I recorded an episode a really long time ago about the movie Ruby Sparks, where we both were so trash drunk that I was trying to edit it, and I was like 5 minutes in. I was like, this is unlistenably bad, and I know it's only gonna get worse. And we have it on video, and we both are fully laying down by the end of the episode. It's the audio is so bad because we're both vertical away from the microphone. That's how drunk we were.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
My dog's in our laps.
But I don't know, maybe I'll brainstorm for next week. That's my homework for you and me, Emily. Brainstorm for next week what the thing we can promise them at 300 is. Get there, and I will try to make it good. Maybe I'll make all of our merch half off or something. We don't actually make any money. Nope. So sadly enough, I can't bully you into buying our merch because we don't make any money from it. I just put the designs up from the distributor and then I set the value to 0% because I don't want to charge you $40 for a sweatshirt. I think that's stupid. So it just cost the cost for them to make it and send it to you, and we don't make any money from it. Same reason why we don't run ads, because I'm that's stupid and I hate capitalism. Yeah. But then I'm damn, this is also not free to run. But the way you can help is by liking all of our stuff on social media. If you go our TikToks, send stuff to your friends. That's always really helpful for algorithmic shit. But most importantly, a star review. I would love it. And we love you all. Thank you so much for listening. And a little teaser for next month's theme. It's kind of stupid, especially with all of our talk about sex toys this week. It ends here because it's No Nut November. And so we're all going to be chaste. Is that the singular form of chastity?
I think so.
We're all going to be chaste this next month, and we're doing
chafing.
A variety of what the term No Nut November may mean in the form of film. And we'll explore that theme as best as we can. And also, my mouth is going to be wired shut for a portion of the month. So I actually might try to do the podcast through an AI, which I think might be kind of funny.
Hilarious.
So we'll see how that all goes. I'm going to have a new face, which is really fun. I'm not addicted to plastic surgery. I just have sleep apnea and I'm trying to get that fixed. So send thoughts and prayers and good vibes. But more importantly, star ratings on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you. And goodbye and good night.